So we finished the last video talking about the weekly review and the importance of that, and everything else that was here. They were the stuff that we have to think about before we think about strategy, before we think about changing strategy, and before we think about optimizing the process. So once we have all of these in place, once we have our strategy, this is then part 3. So strategy is part 1, having our edge, identifying that's the easiest part. The next part is the boring stuff, so actually showing up on time, taking care of the admin, basically just all of the responsibilities outside of trading, keeping our body intact, keeping our finances intact, setting ourselves up to win. So now we're going to cover the process. So this is the last stage for me. So when I was in the break-even stage, I would be in a funded challenge for literally months and months at a time. I wasn't blowing them, I wasn't passing them. And then every so often I'll go into tilt and fuck it all up in an hour. And then I'll buy another one, and then that would go on for months. So like I was literally just break even and eventually hitting boiling point and just combusting. And that went on for years, like literally years. And I realized I was stuck. Let's say I was taking care of 70% of this, leaving out 30%. And remember, any one of these things can be critical. It can be the difference between break even and profitability. I was taking care of 70% of these and probably like 60% of this stuff. So my process was not in place, and in my head I was identifying it as a psychological issue. It wasn't. It was, my psychology was out of whack, yes, but it was out of whack because I wasn't fixing these things. I just kept losing, so I just felt shit. So once I fixed these stuff, this is what actually made a difference. So ticked off all the requirements, all the necessary stuff, showing up on time, and then it comes down to, okay, how are we preparing, how are we executing, and how are we reviewing afterwards our entire trading business. Last sip of coffee before we get stuck in. A big reason for not wanting to have other projects is because then often what gets neglected, in my experience, is the same colors. Often what gets neglected is the preparation stage. So if you have other stuff going on, you will think, okay, yeah, I'll just prepare on Monday at the trading session, or I'll just kick it back from Friday to Sunday, and on Sunday till Sunday evening, and then if I don't end up doing it. Having simplicity in the personal life, or just extreme discipline and doing it at a certain time, helps with the preparation side. For me, preparation comes down to 1, doing this like once-off stuff. So actually going in and analyzing, right, I've been trading for a year now, I've been trading for 2 years now. What psychological issues am I trading to impress somebody? Am I trading because I need the money, because I want to prove somebody wrong? Is there any of this stuff that is motivating or a main driver behind my trading? And if so, that is an unhealthy way to tie us to a goal that requires an emotional state of stableness. That is not ideal when our decision-making process cannot rely on emotional volatility. So we want to go in and figure that stuff out. If it is, acknowledge it, journal on it, work through it, and realize, okay, what do we want to actually tie? What do we actually want to tie our trading to? Our trading success, our motivation, our drivers, basically. Just going through and doing that at least once. There we go. So then we want to have, I have a daily template, a weekly template, and a new trade template. So again, just systemizing it, reducing the friction points, making it easier to do the job. So it's already more difficult to not do this stuff than it is to do it. So I want to do everything I can to make it easier for me to get it done. Therefore, a template, I can just click one button and boom, it pops up. It's the way to go for me. So proper preparation each day. So at the end, doing a post-market recap and a weekly recap. It's I think a must. The only other one that I have there is a new play template. So this one, again, it's nice to have and it's extremely beneficial to me. Just with prompts there that, is this the exact thing that I need to work through in my head logically? Like, what do I need to keep at the forefront of my mind as this trade runs? Would I be comfortable showing this trade to an accountability partner? Would I take this trade 10 out of 10 times, etc.? This kind of stuff that once we've answered it logically, when the trade pulls back and the emotions come up, we have this barrier, this armor of logic behind us that like, okay, you know what? This is happening now, but I've already identified all of this. This is fine, this is a pullback, this is an opportunity to add to my position. Really helps. So that's preparation done. Then next stage then is the recording. So we've prepared. Now, live time happens, we've taken our trade, the session's finished, let's say. We need to input that data into our system so that then we don't need to analyze it at the time, but we want to have the data there. We want to be being responsible and actually recording it accurately, recording the right metrics, etc. Then, same goes for lessons. So anything that we learn, there's no point in taking a trade if we're not going to, especially if we're not profitable. Like if you're taking a trade, losing and not writing it, then what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Literally just a waste of time, waste of money, it's just pointless. So identifying what went wrong, how could I avoid that in the future, and doing that diligently every single session, every single trade. And if we do that, we're just making constant progress. So that's the lessons. And again, the data, just recording the numbers, just has to get done. Has to get done. And then the last section in the inputting is backtesting. Again, I don't backtest right now, but forward testing is pretty much the same as backtesting. Like if you go in and you do your review, you go in at the end of the week and you study each day, okay, where did I miss a potential opportunity that I could have positioned myself in the market? How can I make more of the trades that I executed? So again, I'm reducing the amount I'm reducing the amount I'm going for risk to reward, but I'm constantly going in and seeing, okay, how can I increase that risk to reward without changing my win rate too much. So again, backtesting, this is just crucial at the beginning, and as time goes on, it can get less important or less of a non-negotiable, less of like a you have to spend less time on it basically, because you get diminishing returns after a while. So your time is best spent maybe in a relaxing state, in terms of actually you don't want to burn out, you want to actually prepare, and then reading a book, going for a walk can actually give you a better return than sitting there at the laptop and doing more work. But again, that's dependent on which stage that you're currently at in your trading journey. In your journey, bro. So then review. Then this is what I really like about the system. That, can you see that? Focus. So what I really like is these are what's required in the live time. Then it comes down to, okay, this is all I have to look at, and this is all I have to look at, and I'm taking care of everything. And my current situation is, so the data is obviously the data, the numbers, the quants, noticing the patterns, what's my best day I perform on, what's my best session, which hour, which time frame, etc. La-di-da. Then the dojo is all the lessons, so the things that happen every day, how opportunities can be maximized, missed trades, habits to watch, psychological issues, trade management, any kind of lesson is in here and it's filtered based on its category. Then the playbook is just imagine it as I say it's like the Bible. You just go through reading, training the mind. Okay, I'm going to look at this page every single day. First thing when I wake up, binaural beats on, putting that into my subconscious, into my brain, just drilling it in. Repetition, repetition, repetition. So when it happens in lifetime, no questions asked. This is my setup. This I use a lot less than these two. These two I will check every single week and I will review them every week. This I'm using less, so I'm thinking, is there a way to incorporate this into this? But again, yeah, that's what I'm just working on with my system. But yeah, these are all we need to be reviewing: the lessons, the numbers, and just repetition of actually knowing without doubt, this is our setup. Just training the mind, training the eye. Boom, that is it, lads. I've got my whiteboard back. But yeah, the main thing is to identify which, in business we want to identify what is the constraint on our business. Do we need more leads? Is our sales shit? In trading it's the same thing. We want to figure out, okay, is this a strategy problem? Is this a responsibility problem? Or is this a process issue? Which one of them is it? And then just forgetting about the other two and just focusing on fixing that. Hormozi says he fixes one thing at a time in business. Russell Brunson says that is it a maths problem or a drama problem? So maths problem would be your strategy isn't working. Like, this is a quantitative issue. Drama problem would be you have limiting beliefs that you're fucking yourself up in your mind. You're creating drama and in something that isn't real. So yeah, identify, is it maths or drama? Is it a strategy, responsibility, or process issue? And then then you're fixing the thing that's broken in the business, not just some random thing that you think is broken. Cool. Cut.